Okay, good morning. We're holding now in the Likkutei Sichos. This was, like I said yesterday, it's the last Sicha, part of the project of Likkutei Sichos Chelik Zion. So we're actually finishing a entire sefer. And yesterday we spoke about the Mishnah. So the Rebbe asked, what type of person are we talking about over here? If we're talking about a person who is learning Torah the Shema, so what does he care about the Zeichel Dvarim Harbe? He's doing it for the sake, like the Alter Rebbe writes in Tanya, to connect to Hashem. And if we're talking about a person that is doing this Almanas the Kabel Pras, so if he is worried about the Dvarim Harbe, or he's caring about it, so then it's not Torah the Shema. Okay, so then we brought from the Rambam that Al Derech what the Rambam writes in Hilchos Tshuva, that when the Torah is being maftiach him about the Dvarim Gashmim al tzchar for the Kiyum Mitzvahs, is the main thing is that he should be doing it b'simcho and b'tevis nefesh, that he should remove all the things which stop him. And he said the Rebbe says the same thing with Rameir when we say that Rameir says that Isa B'Ter L'Shema Zeichel Dvarim Harbe, which means that Hashem is going to take away things which hold him back from learning. Okay, so the Rebbe says this is not enough because the if you look in the Mishnah, there are a few things that really have nothing to do with holding back from learning Torah. Anyway, so the Rebbe basically was medayik as saying that we're talking about a Yid over here, which he is worried that if he's going to be involved so much in Torah the Shema, that his whole life is Torah the Shema. So what about Midas Chasad, and what about doing other things besides Torah? How is he going to be able to accomplish that? So that's what the Mishnah is saying, is that Zeichel Dvarim Harbe, that Hashem is automatically going to give him these things because of his the Sichos that he has. That's what we're holding Zion. Okay, so the Rebbe says this. The Dvarim Harbe zu welcher der Oisuk b'Ter der Shema Zeicha teilt sich in zwei Sugim. So the Dvarim Harbe, to what the person is going to be Zeicha by learning Torah the Shema, so you can divide into two categories. Dvarim Maser Bakum Derech V'Melech. So first you have things which he's going to receive automatically. He doesn't even have to toil separately for that. Und andere Dvarim zu welcher Zeicha nur bei even Chelki u'B'Melech is neitig euch sein Arbeit. Das heißt, kommen sie durch eine viel geringere Arbeit wie zweiter, aber doch dafür ertun, als sie sollen bei ihm sein, Kiddabay Bestemmer. So, first type of thing the first type of merit that he'll have is automatically he'll be merited to Dvarim that he doesn't even have to work at all. It will come automatically. And then there's things that he's going to be Zeicha to, but that comes with some work. So he says, and does that in the Shinuyim, or the Diuk L'Shenis from the Meir Umal Bashtei, Anova V'Yida, or Machsharte L'Yisadik Chosid Yosher B'Neman. And this is the nuances when you say, a Meir says that he'll be one of the items that he'll be Zeicha to by learning Torah the Shema is number one, Umal Bashtei Anova V'Yida, that he'll be enclosed with humility and fear, and then Machsharte L'Yisadik Chosid Yosher B'Neman. The diuk is marchakte menachet. He'll be distanced from sin. Lekarfte lidi schus, and he'll come close to schus. What does that mean? Well, if the zachin after oisik b'tel shua harden zu makom zeh b'shleimus, because in order for this person to receive it in a complete manner, he has to have some type of work, some type of toil. The oisik zeh b'tel shua tutnar of as mal bashte and v'yida. So when a person is Torah the Shema, what does that accomplish? That he gets like a garment of anova v'yida. What does that mean? The Torah peil ba'im as erzol haben die midas anova and yida b'derech levush. A Torah affects him that'll have the emotions of humility and yira in a way of clothing. Just like a garment by a person, it's a external thing. It's not part of his nefesh. It's like you can remove it, you can take it off. It's more of an external thing. So too, what Torah the Shema accomplishes, that I'll have the anova year in a way of chitzeni. Ze werden aber nicht vereinzigt mit ihm bis zu werden seine midas nasa anov v'yira. However, it doesn't become part of the person, part of his emotions, that it becomes like part of his humility and fear. Azay is Torah. Im nor machshir to ver tzaddik. So too, Torah just prepares him to be a tzaddik v'nemud. Marchik von achet al deref le'mamish le'yunu tzaddik kolovin und mekarif to mitzvahs. Aber b'chtei to sein tzaddik v'nemud bepeil sein abgehit von chatoim and haben schias fulfilled for haben aveda migia. So at the end of the day, what Torah L'Shma does is it prepares a person. It gives a person all the right kalim in order to actually accomplish to be a tzaddik or not to sin. But to actually bepoil not a sin at all, that a person needs to have yigiyah. Well, that is the same thing is, when we say that the person forgives those who insult him, what do we mean? The Torah of us is direi keish, we know the Torah, which are like words of fire, like the Gemara says, that just like fire is not makabel tumah, so too Torah is not makabel tumah, is malbin umezachich the midas from them was learned Torah L'Shma, as soll sein am moichel alabene. To the Griechen, the Shloimis and Piramidis, as soll melchatchil net feeling can elben, but it's a So what Torah accomplishes, Torah L'Shma accomplishes, is that he will eventually, or ultimately, he will forgive those who insult him. But if you want to get to the highest level, that b'chlal you don't even feel insulted, like we said, the highest level, that comes with toil and comes with a special aveda. Yes, lida chaber. However, if you look at it the other way, on the other hand, there are going to be items that the person who's learning Torah L'Shma is zeicha in a complete way. Even without toiling and out having great effort. For example, he loves Hashem, he loves people, he makes people happy, he makes the Eibishter happy, he makes the people happy. People actually have enough from his counsel, from his advice. And they give him royalty, prestige, and din. Okay, so what does that mean? Since this person, he loves people and he makes people happy, so being that he makes people happy and he loves people, so this conduct, this good conduct that he has with Adam Lachavere will not lack at all, or not more even more. So Dafka der Farvas there's Oizu B'Tel Shma is there Zeichet zu der Heuvenkeit and Seichel B'Chlal, and because he's Zeichet to Torah L'Shma, so and he learns Torah L'Shma, so therefore he merits to a higher level of Seichel, Oich in Welt Sachen, even in worldly things. As I can get an so this person, when he learns Torah L'Shma, not only is he Zeichet to things that are Beruchnius, but even like when it comes to business advice or any advice that people need, so he is the man that people turn to. He's the guy that everybody asks advice. Bis to an eitzavas teres emes is made at nenemi menu, until Torah itself says that nenemi menu, that they have hana from him. Ibalas nenemi menu eitzavas eshia. So since people actually have hana from his counsel, from his advice, so automatically he makes people happy. Test. So if this is understood as in the Maimer from the mayor, is the Hira nicht nur for them Eise Betel Shmalin nor euch for a zweiten Yiden was Ken trachten. So if this Maimer, the mayor says that Eise Betel Shmal Zeichel Dvarim Harbe is also for not only for the person learning the Shema, but also for another person. Why? Because he could think, Balaz and Eise Betel Shmal was sein abgesundet. Von Yonelam, or if we mention our rooms, a person can think, since a person who learns Torah Shema has to be totally separated and totally away from the world and from people around him, so he doesn't have any knowledge in the world. The fact that he knows worldly matters, you can ask him questions in business or ask him knowledge about things which are not related to Torah, so that the Pharaoh could show that he's not a true person. How does he know about the worldly matters if he's such a Torah L'Shma guy? And this person who is learning Torah L'Shma, it's black and white. If he's learning Torah L'Shma, so you can't ask him business advice, and you can't really rely on his advice. And if you could rely on his advice, so it must be he's not a Torah Lishma guy. So now, but what does the mayor says? On the contrary, Tafted slip them, but there's always what Torah Lishma is a zecher to Shloimy the Kavon and Yonah, because this person is a what Torah Lishma. So Hashem gives him a Sichos that he is complete in all understanding and everything. On the fire is nenem menu Ezev is a sheikholi as the eight of us are gitin and an eifen for nenen. So he's zeicha because he gets to the level of Torah Lishma that people actually ask him advice and actually enjoy his advice because he really has very good advice and very good idea. Obepashta simply, in the gefrekte Sachen wird sich abhalten von geben an Eitzah. Now, if this person doesn't have clarity in what he's being asked, so he's not going to give advice. On the other hand, is dein klar as das ist Emesse und nicht die Eitzah was Schille Teresamas. However, if he's going to give his advice, you can be assured that it's correct advice and it's based on Torah. Rafilu vet wenn se durch sich as the Eitzah was geht is nicht ausgehalten in Sech Anush. And even if the person is giving advice, it will come out that it's not so doesn't make so much sense when you look in Sech Anush. Whereas the Eitzah with Torah Lishma is an Oyev Mesamech Chasam. Since the person who's learning Torah Lishma, Hashem gives him the schos that people love him and he loves people, is Adavar Boraz Nenemi Meno. So it's something which is very clear that people will actually have enough from him. As from their Eitzah was git Zayin de kan Oyev and mitten Keyach HaTorah vet min gewiss hanoven. So even if, let's say, you feel that this person or what he's saying is not Oizgehalten with Sech Anushi, but because he has the schos of Zeicha of the Torah Lishma, so Hashem will automatically give him the right words and the right counsel for you that you actually have enough from it. Good. Now we can understand the nuance to this that the Mishnah says, that it will raise him and it will uplift him in all his actions. As thus is nitztam keifel lashon. It's not like we asked before. What's the difference between the lashon of migadaltei and umeremamtei? What's the chayret of the same concept? The Rebbe says it's not. As in the Tzir Matzu von Anesa with Torah Lishma, as I'm not so finding the Dargashin. So now, based on what the Rebbe is saying that I explained in the Sicha, that there's two levels. Aleph, Mitzad Zayin Esek, Etzem Esek in Torah Lishma is a Hecher von Alan Yana Elam Punkti Torah Lane. So Mitzad, that he's learning in Torah Lishma, he's really higher than all worldly matters. And Beis Mitzad, he's learning Harbat, so Velcher Zecha, Chodar Shatat Yana Elam, Chodar Zezayin, Fil Niddik, for Zayin, the Darga Maila, Oisa with Torah Lishma. However, on the other hand, when a person is learning Torah Lishma, even though externally he looks higher than the Velta Shazafin, but because because of the schos that he has, he will have a shaykhas to Elam as well. And now the Mishnah is saying that what? God will pass in fragleis to ein of us, potan erech to him, nor as kleiner for him. When you say somebody is big, so he's bigger than the person who's smaller than him, but they have some sort of erech between each other. Rabbi was weiß, if der Hebenkeit and Abgetragenkeit was a schleibe erech hecher von them in eres merem. However, when you say that somebody is meromem, he's higher. That means he's such on a different level that he has no shaykhs to that person. Ubinyanenu sadid dvarim harbat zuvafer zeicha was the help not shaykhs. Or erech chinyane elam is there good all kalamasim. So mitzad this that he has the Varnam Harbe to what he's zeicha. So he's a godel on everything. Sein godless kegen the meisim and yana elam is be'erech nor as gresser from zei. So he's really higher than all the meisim in the world. Sadam eisiv what Shema is there in ganzen upbetrogen and hecher fon kon yana elam remamte kalamasim. That's what we're saying, that the gadalta he's taka very big, but remamte he's really so he's so not distant but so much higher than the Dvarim Gashmin. Yud Aleph. Alpha Piaz the Daga von Eisik Batel Lishma is an Eifin Timidi. Isn't it Chiadim Einim Shayach? So even though we know that by learning Torah Lishma is not Shayach by every single yid, like the Alter Rebbe says, October the Alter Rebbe and Tanya, as the Kavanah from Lishma, Tarzain by Yedra Kaponim with Chilas Alim. The Alter Rebbe says in Tanya that at least the idea of learning Torah Lishma in the beginning of his learning should that everyone is Shayach. We remember the beer and them. What does that mean? Is ain't safe since Hashem's Torah is there's no limit. Kenzi nitvas verin in them sefer, but I mentioned it cannot actually be so penetrated, it cannot be grasped by the seichel of the person. Anivul sidnes by im dod the tilofin bittel. was durch them can Makabel sein Interesse zu Kodesh Baruch Hu. Nachdem wir gefunden bei Man Teda, als the Klitz of Kabbalah Teira is given the bittul von der Zogen Nas Benishma and Bakdamas Nas Nishma. So the only way for a person who's a mukbal, who can actually to reach Torah and get and be Makabel the Ibshus Torah, which is ain't saved, that's only through bittul, like by Man Teda, the Yidin Nas Nishma. Now Zay is Eich by Yedrin, as einer is Heipsich by him on the Seder from Limit Torah. So before a person starts learning Torah, was done is the Psakdin as the like the Gemara says a person should learn Torah even if Shalei Lishma. Why? Because when we take Shalei Lishma, Bal Lishma, as I need to know from Kabbalah Teira, if they did Shabbat Kuman Hashafim Materas Shlosh Baruch, nevertheless, he still have to have this Tnuah of Kabbalah Teira in order to be Kabbalah Teira. And thus is durch der Tnuah from Bittul. How do you get that by being bottle? Was the Sichos in der Kavanah Lishma, and how did kein eigene Pnie in sein Leben, was weiß der Verhegisch von der eigenen Metzias, as Herz of Nar on the Metzias von Teira. So this person, he has no ulterior motives to learning, but just mamish to connect to Teira. Und das ist the time for was der Mesader Breise hat angeheben die Breise von King und Teira mit der Maimer von der Meer. And that's why the person who was Mesader, the Mishnayos, what did he start Parashisha with Ramir? The Chayat Freer wollte capacity zu bringen die Breises was an Mesader if Limit Teira Bechlau. There's enough if there has to Madriga from the Limit Teira is with Teira Shma. The Chayat first bring all the levels of giving somebody Zrizus and learning Teira in general, and then speak about the higher learning of Teira Shma. So it says, "Well, the Bryce of when King Teira Velsam learned in them Shabbos Farshvu as a man Teira Sin and get Aris them say that we dive sich great and so was Teira Chagashvu. We're learning this Mishnah, Mamish the Mishnah before the Mishnah is this Perek right before Man Teira. Why? Because this Perek is teaching us how we have to prepare for Man Teira. What their Indian is, so Malamersh and Father as if they threw off an Asik. First, the first thing he has to be involved is in Teira Lishma. Most of them has been Mekabel Teira Dafka through Teira Lishma. You can be Mekabel Teira. When there's the note, Heipsich on the Seder from the Teira Bepale, and then you could actually have a Seder Lim of Bepale.